And we are back with another episode. Welcome to the Unsportsmanlike Podcast. I am your host, Marcus. Today I'm here with my guy,
Nicholas. What's up?
All right, so the first thing we got to talk about is the Luka Dončić to the Lakers.
Yes, sir.
Nick, what are your thoughts, man?
Bro, I might finally be able to see another championship in my lifetime. I'm so excited, bro.
Dude, I'm ecstatic. Like LeBron has an opportunity to get that fifth ring that we have been so long waiting for. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's just gonna happen this year, but I think with the Lakers adding Luka Dončić, it extends LeBron's career for at least another 2 years. What are your thoughts?
I would agree. I think he definitely re-signs this summer for at least another 2-year deal, giving him 3 years at least.
So, if you are the Dallas Mavericks, because I'm sitting in my room watching television, right? I'm watching TV. It's a regular day, and all of a sudden, I get a text, and it says Luka Dončić has been traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis and some other players that we really don't even care about, right? And so, with my mindset, you just traded away one of the greatest 25-year-old players in NBA history for a bag of chips. Literally for a bag of chips. No disrespect to Anthony Davis whatsoever, but there is no way you trade a guy that just literally led your franchise to an NBA Finals run while averaging 30.
That's nuts, bro.
Nick, please help me. Please help me right now.
I can't, man. All I can say is it's great to be a Laker fan.
Yeah, and it's the thing, bro. I'm not even a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron James fan. So wherever LeBron goes, I am going. Like if he was to go to the Hornets next week, I am a Hornets fan, right? Because I love LeBron. I don't care about the team, right? I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me, but if you're a Nico Harrison, right? You're a Nico Harrison, he's their GM or whatever the case may be. What is your thought process of like when you did this?
Well, so to be honest with you, I think this was the new owners care more about the money side of this, and if they could get out of that Supermax contract, that's the whole reason. There's no other reason besides the Supermax deal that you were going to have to pay him that you no longer have to pay him now, and you're not going to pay AD that. You'll just tell him to go somewhere else.
For sure. So, okay, there's another important piece because in the year of 2023, Kyrie Irving, tried to lure LeBron James to Dallas to team up with him and Luka. Now, with Kyrie being by himself, now LeBron James can do the funniest thing ever, right? Because Kyrie's contract this year is over after this year. He can either re-sign for 4 years or he can pick any team he wants. Is there a likelihood that we see Kyrie Irving in a Lakers uniform next season?
As long as the financials work, yeah, because there's no room for him in Phoenix unless, the Suns blow it up. He's not going to go to the Heat. There's no room for him in Milwaukee. The Knicks don't want him. So, yeah, the only place that would leave him would be the Lakers if the financials work. Because you got to remember, they still have to pay Luka that Supermax.
See, but now Luka is ineligible for the Supermax right now.
For how many years? For one?
Now that I don't know. I don't want to sit here and lie to you, but I know with him being traded to the LA Lakers, he is ineligible for the Supermax. Yeah, that's what I said. And this is the thing I didn't understand. Their excuse was he's out of shape, right? Let's put this into perspective, Nick. This man has played in 22 games this season due to injuries, right? He's played 35 minutes. He's averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in 35 minutes of play. If that is out of shape, I would love to have that fat motherfucker on my team. Seriously, if that's out of shape.
I would love to be out of shape.
Huh?
I would love to be out of shape.
Bro, seriously. Bro, I'm averaging 28, and you sit here and telling me I'm out of shape, and I'm playing 35 minutes a game, and that's out of shape. I know, and it's like this, man. That's not fair to Luka, man. That just wasn't fair to Luka because Mark Cuban went on record as saying he wouldn't have made that trade because some players are just genuinely untouchable, and Luka is one of those players. You don't trade Luka. You don't trade Luka Dončić at all. I don't
Nope.
care what they're offering you. And then on top of that, you didn't even get 2 first-round picks for him. You didn't
Yeah.
even get 2 first. So
If you trade AD now, right? Like if you're the Mavericks GM and you try to trade AD, you're not going to get a first round pick back for AD.
no, because what? He's 31 years old, right?
32.
32 years old, and they call him what? Sir Charles calls him Anthony Street Clothes Davis because you just never know is he ever gonna play, right? I will say this: AD has been on a tear. Let this sink in. His final game as a Laker, he dropped 40 and 20. So he's been playing very, very well. Ironically, he just had an injury like the other day, so he didn't, but this caught everyone by surprise. Let me ask you this. Is this the craziest blockbuster trade in NBA history? Because I don't think we've ever seen anything like this.
No, this would be the biggest.
Like, okay, what would be equivalent to the NFL? Like, what trade would be equivalent? That's a tough one, I know.
I really don't want to say this because he doesn't have a title, but would that be like a Patty Mahomes gets traded out of KC type of deal, or are we not on that level yet?
We're definitely on that level. Well, how about we say this? Joe Burrow.
Okay, deal. I'll take that.
Joe Burrow gets traded to
the Giants. Or not the Giants. What's a good team that just needs a quarterback? Miami. Gets traded to Miami.
That'd be insane. But I still don't think it will be up to the level of Luka Dončić to I don't think it'd be on the same level though, because of the magnitude of this trade.
What about that team up north, Minnesota?
Ooh, you might be cooking with something here. Now that's a good one because they have the pieces to contend for a title. They just need a quarterback. No disrespect to Sam Darnold, who played well until the playoff game. He played absolutely atrocious. But as far as that, he played well this season, right? Yeah, he will.
Or Burrow to the Niners. Those two, I think both of those work.
Yeah, but
the Niners were just hurt this year. That's all it came
down. And honestly, the Niners are just like the Eagles. The only difference is they got a running quarterback in Philadelphia. That's just my point. That is what it is.
There's another team.
Who?
Yeah, what if Burrow went to the Eagles? That could be equivalent.
Nah, it's not equivalent. I can't say that because I don't think that would be equivalent. I'm not gonna. I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts, but I'm not going to disrespect him that bad. No, it wouldn't be equivalent. It wouldn't be. Nah. Because now
I'm just talking about the pieces around Jalen. Because you got to think that you got the best running back in the league. Let's just call that LeBron, right?
For sure.
He's got better weapons around him than what LeBron's got. Who's the Max Christie of the Eagles? Probably their backup tight end.
Maybe so. Maybe.
Yeah.
And
because our starters Dallas Goedert. So.
And it sucks for Max Christie because he dropped 15 in his last game, right? 15 to 19 points in his last game, and he balled. So it's like
what a great last game to have.
Wow. Yeah. Did you see that interview with AD and the reporter? And the reporter was insinuating that AD was like. And AD
he's like, you said that like I was about to
get. Then not even 24 hours later he gets traded, dude. That is.
Or the Max Christie thing, them taking the fucking.
Even though that was an away game, it was an away game, so it happens. But it's just weird timing how they did it while he was getting interviewed. So it makes it look like we're taking his stuff down because he's about to get traded, even though he doesn't know. So I mean,
did you see the one where? There was I saw it on TikTok. There's this Mavericks fan talking to the news station, and he was like, "You know what's on that placard over there?" And he was pointing to Dirk's statue, and he said, "Loyalty never fades away." And he said, "Well, that must be a one-way street because the loyalty must only be with the player. That franchise turned his back on him." So now if he wins the
Definitely.
title, it means nothing.
Definitely. So, okay, let me ask you this. Who won this trade?
The
The
Lakers.
the Lakers? Why?
You gave up a first round pick, an injury prone player for a young 25-year-old superstar who's in his prime, if not his early prime, who is veteranized because he's been playing since he's 13, and he's a shooter. LeBron's just got to if you get him a good center now, all LeBron's got to do is play pick and roll with the center. Luka's going to be open on the other side, and if the shot's not there, he can dribble and create it himself.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what I was speaking with a friend earlier, I said if you go back and look at these teams that LeBron has won championships on, he's been surrounded with shooters, right? His early years in Miami, Norris Cole, Ray Allen, Mario Chalmers, Shane Battier, Mike Miller, right? And then you go back to Cleveland, he had Channing Frye, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert, and those just to name a few. So if you can give LeBron another superstar caliber player and some shooters around him, your team is a whole lot better because now all LeBron needs is just spot up shooters, right? I'm not asking y'all to come off the ball and da-da-da. I'm just asking y'all, hey, Rio, you go to the right, or Kyrie, you go to the left. That's all he needs, right? So now it's about to get real. If they can find themselves a big man, they can definitely contend for a title, and they can, surround those guys with a couple more shooters. They can definitely contend for a title this year. Not saying it's going to happen, but they can definitely contend for a title.
All I'm saying is there's a nice center, and he's not a starter, but he's sitting on a boat, and he's cheap. He'll play defense, and he's cheap.
Dwight
Dwight
Howard, right?
Howard.
Yeah, they
Bring
call
him
it.
in.
Yeah, and they call him the Jokic killer because he slows down Jokic every time he plays him. So
I would
I
love
def
it.
I definitely agree, but is he still in that NBA shape though? That's the biggest question.
I don't know. From the videos, he looks like he's out of shape, but then again,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So
know. I don't know. He's an athlete. I'm sure he can get right back into shape.
okay, so now let's go over to the Maverick side of it. I saw Stephen A. Smith said today the Dallas Mavericks are now the number one contender in the West. What are your thoughts on that?
It's blasphemy to steal a line from him. That is the dumbest sentence that could have come out of his mouth.
Why do you say that though?
Because you got this four that's going to go out there and play, right?
Hmm.
He's going to get hurt. You're putting all your eggs in the basket that he is going to be there when the playoffs come around. And you're putting your eggs in the basket that Kyrie either one doesn't lose his mind like he has the last 4 out of 5 seasons, or Kyrie doesn't get hurt. So you're putting your eggs in those two baskets, which are kind of flimsy baskets, I'm not going to lie. But if they do work out that way, I still don't think they're the best team in the West.
And also, I will sit here and say this. Remember the last time we seen Kyrie have his own team? It was an absolute failure in Boston, right? That's why he left LeBron in Cleveland because he wanted to lead his own team. And he had to understand, he realized very, very quickly, this isn't easy. This isn't easy leading your own team. We've seen LeBron lead his team many, many times, right? So I don't, yeah, I think Stephen A. I think he just be talking, in the words of the young kid, he just be chatting because that is crazy.
Yeah, he just said that to get some clicks and some views in the first.
Had to because if you're relying on Kyrie Irving, and who's really honestly not the same player that he used to be,
No,
and
no.
you're relying on Anthony Street Clothes Davis to be consistently healthy and consistently there night in and night out, then you've already lost, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you're telling them to do this for a 7-game series. Like their 5 man, I think it's Daniel Gafford, right?
Or Derek Lively.
And how good is Daniel Gafford? I mean, he's good, but is he,
I mean,
somebody?
he was a solid 12-8 guy in the playoffs last year.
Right.
I mean, it's solid. It's not great. It's solid.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the long run, I think the Lakers definitely won this trade because now this is Luka Doncic's team. Of course, LeBron's still there, but he's been trying to give the keys to his next co-star for many, many years, and that co-star was Anthony Davis. But unfortunately, Anthony Davis could never really put the key in the ignition and turn it to start it.
It
Right?
was. I did see Stephen A. Smith said that this was. He did get in contact with the Lakers yesterday, and outside of Rob Pelinka and Nico, whatever his name is, down in Dallas,
Nico Harrison.
only only the owners of the two teams knew. Nobody else knew. So Danny Ainge, who was a Celtics guy through and through,
He
he
helped.
didn't. He didn't even know he was helping. Didn't even know until 30 minutes, but he had already signed his portion of the paperwork, so it was already done.
So do you think if he knew, he wouldn't have helped as much?
Oh no, he wouldn't even have. He wouldn't even have thrown the Lakers a bone.
Well, Danny Ainge, you just got, buddy.
Yeah,
The
you got
purple,
played.
the purple and gold nation, they love you. And I sit here and say this: I'm a LeBron fan, so I'm a Laker fan. We love you, Danny Ainge. Thank you for everything that
Yeah,
you just done, that you have
for
done.
real.
Thank you. Like seriously, like wow, you got played, but at the end of the day, you helped out. You helped out your arch nemesis in the Lakers, right? You guys have one more championship than the Lakers, but now, ooh,
And I
we
mean,
made
and
we
also
made we
the
made
flip
really.
side to that is you got to think about it. That just shows that the LeBron doesn't have as much pull as we really thought.
No, he doesn't. And that's what I've been trying to tell people for years. People keep saying he's had all these teammates that he can get anybody he wants. If that was the case, he would be playing with Steph right now, right?
He would be playing with Steph.
If that was the case, he would have got Kawhi Leonard, right?
Yeah,
So
he also would have got Clay 2 years ago.
Paul George, right? He wanted all these guys, but he never could get them. So I think people fail to realize the front office is still. Of course, they're going to ask LeBron, "What do you think?" Right? And of course, they're going to reach out to teams about these players that LeBron is inquiring about. But those teams don't have to say yes because LeBron James asks. They don't give a damn about LeBron like that, right? So I think people have to realize it is hard to get what you want. The only reason why LeBron played in Miami was because what was it like a sign and trade, or did he just sign in Miami?
He just signed. He was an unrestricted free agent.
Exactly. So that's my point, right? If he had to try to get traded to Miami, it wasn't happening. It wasn't gonna happen, right? So I think people just need to start understanding that LeBron don't have as much pull as you think. Because if that was the case, Kyrie Irving would have came to LA 2 years ago. So
And I heard that if LeBron didn't make that move to Miami, I heard that Carmelo was the backup.
to come, yeah, he was to go to Miami. And let me ask, I don't think they would have won though.
No, they wouldn't even. That I don't even think they
Nah,
would have won one.
but those Celtics teams would have still beaten a Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh team. You weren't winning without LeBron James.
No.
Like, and that's no disrespect to Melo, right? He's a Hall of Famer, but yeah, Melo's going to take half of those shots.
He got that chip with the Lakers, right?
Who?
Carmelo?
Melo?
Or did he come the year after?
I think he came the year. I don't think he's an NBA champion. I don't think he is. No. I don't think he's an NBA champion.
We'll have to look that up after the.
Yeah, I have to look it up after the show, but I don't think he's an NBA champion. No, I'll tell you who is an NBA champion again. He came during the postseason. J.R. Smith. He did an assignment and just got an A. He didn't even do nothing on the assignment and got an A. So hey, sometimes he's just blessed. Like it was another guy, James Jones. Right? Remember James Jones?
Yeah, he has a
Cleveland?
couple. He has one in Miami and one in Cleveland.
Everywhere LeBron went, he brought James Jones with him. So,
cheers.
Hey, man, yeah. So, let's talk about the crazy news we heard this morning. All-Pro Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade out of Cleveland. What are your thoughts?
I got a couple thoughts. One, it's about damn time. Two,
LeBron James reference.
What?
LeBron James reference after he won the 2012 NBA Finals.
Yeah,
it's about damn time.
Yep. One is about damn time. Two, the Cleveland Browns are the worst franchise of all time. They're just so bad.
Dude, they are just horrible. And it's like, man, I'm putting my body on a line week in and week out, right? I'm winning Defensive Player of the Year multiple times, and we're only winning 3 games. Like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing? So it was about damn time that he came to his senses, because it's like, yeah, we know you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You have all these accolades. You're gonna go down as one of the greatest defensive players in NFL history, but you don't have that ring. That ring is what really matters at this point in your career. You have
And
nothing else to prove.
that's what Aaron Donald's got over him. Aaron Donald has a
Exactly.
ring. You don't.
For sure. For sure. That's the only thing that he has over you, then you don't, right? Because at the end of the day, you guys are gonna both go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. But Aaron Donald's gonna go down greater than you because he has that. And then on top of that, Aaron Donald made the key 4th down, hit on what was that? On Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Myles Garrett, love you, brother. Phenomenal player. Outside of you hitting Mason Rudolph in the helmet with your helmet that game, but outside of that, bro, I love the way you play the game of football. If you ever get a chance to tune into this podcast, I hope you hear this. But bro, go do what's best for you, bro. Go to a contender, and I hope you are able to win a championship. Because in Cleveland, bro, you're not going to. Where do I want to see him? Hell, I would love to see him in New Orleans, but we're not a contending team. We fucking suck. So don't come there, buddy. Please don't.
I can tell you where I want to see him.
Yeah, but they're not a contending team either. Miami,
no,
sir.
Come
no,
on,
they're not. No. Now, if you want state income tax, you don't want state income tax, go to South Beach. You're not going to be a winner either, so you might as well stay in Cleveland.
No, I think we got a better shot than Cleveland.
Yeah, well, barely, not that
much.
If
we have a defense that could stop the ball, we can't stop the ball against Josh Allen. That's the issue.
I would love to see him. Minnesota would be a nice pick.
That would be.
Philly, they're going to have a couple players, potentially not being there on the D-line next year.
Yeah, because what's their face?
Josh Sweat could be on the way out the door.
Fletcher Cox is out, is retiring, ain't he?
Yep.
Ingram, Brandon Graham.
Yeah, so they got a couple. They got a couple pieces that may not be there next year. Detroit is still a contending team.
Him across from Aiden Hutchinson.
The Bills. Hell, well, I would love to see him and Max Crosby, but the Raiders is just about as worse as the Cleveland Browns, so no. He can always go to the Bills. If he goes to Kansas City, I'm definitely not watching football anymore. Him and Chris Jones together,
I'm never turning into the NFL.
Him and Chris Jones together, oh my goodness. And that's the only thing Chris Jones has over him is rings. I don't even know if Chris Jones has won Defensive Player of the Year.
Hell no.
I don't think he hasn't, right? But
no.
he got those rings.
Yeah.
And Chris Jones is the first ballot Hall of Famer as well. So whether he doesn't have the Defensive Player of the Year, he is. So
do you think Denver's a possibility?
Nah, they're not a contender yet. No, they're not a contender.
Is that a piece that they're missing though?
They're missing a lot more than just these, because their defense is solid. They need more offensive playmakers, right? I can see him in Washington. They could potentially be a contender. All right. So, I mean, well, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see, but I also was told at the Senior Bowl this week from an inside source that they don't plan on trading him anyway. So, basically, he's held hostage. Basically, they're gonna just figure it out.
We've seen this story 1,000 times.
Yeah, right.
The player always gets what he wants.
Yeah, he's gonna get traded, but to where, we don't know. Also, I was looking at this earlier, and it kind of just was like, Stephen A. Smith, what are you talking about, man? He goes on record saying that Myles Garrett wanting to be traded is Deshaun Watson's fault. I want to hear your thoughts on why you either agree or disagree with Stephen A. Smith.
I agree about 30%. And the reason I agree about 30% is because I get that you had all these legal situations popping up with whatever you did or did not do, but you are not the same player that you were. You are getting all this money, taking up all this salary cap. You can't go out and get weapons. You need to at least play to the same damn level so that contract was worth it.
Okay, so let me say this. Let me interrupt you right there. We can't blame Deshaun Watson for being offered $230 million fully guaranteed. We can't blame him for that because when you speak on that situation, yes, he had off the field issues, but the Browns knew that, right?
They
Right?
did.
They knew that. And at one point, the whole NFC South wanted him. They wanted Deshaun Watson, but when the Browns came in and offered him $230 million fully guaranteed, all right, you guys can have him, right? I mean, so we can't genuinely blame Deshaun. I feel like we have to blame more on the front office because they knew what they were getting themselves into. It is so unfortunate that Deshaun Watson came in there, missed the first 11 games anyway due to his off the field suspension anyway. So he never got into any rhythm with his teammates, right? And on top of that, I'm still dealing with the sexual assault allegations that are being brought to me by 29 other different women. Come on, man. That's a lot on my plate. And
Now,
then I
this
got
year I'll
one
give him
more.
a pass because of the injury.
Yeah, but I also have one other point as well, too. Bro, I played in the dome for all of my career. I played in a warm climate. I played at Clemson. You know what I'm saying? I never had to endure the snow. I've always played inside of a dome in the NRG Stadium with the Houston Texans. You expect me to come after 11 games. My first game, I think, ironically, it was against the Saints. It was a Sunday. It was snowing. Ultimately, the Saints won the game, but
I thought
that was
his first game back was against Houston.
no. I think it was against the Saints. His first game back after his suspension was the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was a home game in Cleveland against the Saints, and the Saints ultimately won that game. But you can just tell he didn't belong in that cold climate. He's not a player that you put in the snow. He would have been better off playing in Atlanta because he's from Georgia, right? Or he would have been well in New Orleans in a dome. The Falcons and the Saints both have what? Domes. I played in a what? Coming out of Houston. I played in a dome. Hell, Carolina would have been a better option. You get what I'm saying? But you putting this guy in a situation where I don't have any chemistry with my teammates. I missed 11 games, right? I already have this legal stuff on my brain, right? And it's just unfortunate, man. But then again, we've seen the history of quarterbacks that have played in Cleveland. It just hasn't boded well for any of them. So should all the blame be put on Deshaun Watson? No. But should some of the blame be put on him? Yes, but not all of them. Like, I didn't like how the fans booed Deshaun Watson after he tore his Achilles. That was whack of Cleveland Brown fans. I think that was whack because at the end of the day, he's still a human being. So that's just my thought. So I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith, but it's okay. I can agree to disagree, but it's not all on him. The main criticism should be on that front office because they knew what they were getting themselves into. I don't feel bad for Cleveland, nor do I feel bad for their fans.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, they got to be the worst franchise of all time. You did this shit with Odell. You did this shit with Baker. You doing it. You made a bonehead deal with Deshaun Watson, and now your best player wants out.
Come on, man. And all these players, after they've left the Cleveland Brown franchise, one has won a Super Bowl, and Odell Beckham probably would have won Super Bowl MVP had he not gotten hurt in that Super Bowl because he was going ballistic,
Oh,
right?
he was nuts.
And then Baker Mayfield has revived his career in Tampa. He at one point this year he was a MVP. He was an MVP candidate. So I mean, at the end of the day, and Sam Darnold. That's not. I mean, Sam Darnold was in Carolina. I'm sorry, but hell, he even revived his career any damn way. So hey, like I said, man, I don't think it's fair on Deshaun Watson that all the criticism is being put on him. Let's blame the front office for not, accommodating Myles Garrett request to get other, star-studded players on that team because the defense is good enough, right? The defense is good enough, but that offense is just downright terrible. So
yeah,
that's just my thoughts on the whole situation. But I'm excited to see what happens with Myles Garrett. I can't wait to see where he goes, and we'll see what happens. But hey, that's all. That's all the time we have today. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Unsportsmanlike Podcast. I am your host, Tamarcus, and I'm here with my guy. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Later.